Great, welcome in everybody. Thank you so much for being here for the Ask the Experts About Health and Wellbeing webinar. I'm going to share it in the chat as well, but please feel free to introduce yourselves with your name, where you're coming from, as well as your student's major or something you're excited about with your student's experience at Temple, so we can get to know who's joining us. I love hearing where everyone's coming in from. It's always so exciting to see. Again, if you're just joining us, welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Please feel free to share, introduce yourself in the chat, sharing your name, where you're from, as well as your student's major or something you're excited about your student to experience at Temple, so we can learn more about who's joining us today. And welcome in. Thank you all so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for the Ask the Experts About Health and Wellbeing webinar today. Feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. It looks like we have somebody coming in from Chicago, incoming psych major. That's an interesting major. I love hearing our students talk about it. Feel free to continue to introduce yourselves in the chat by sharing your name, where you're from, as well as your student's major or one thing you're excited for your student to experience here. We have somebody from Colorado, a political science major. Thank you for joining us today. Again, thank you. If you're just joining us, welcome in. Please feel free to continue to introduce yourselves in the chat with your name, where you're from, as well as your student's major or something that you're excited for your student to experience here. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes as well. We have somebody from the Dominican Republic, but living in Harrisburg right now. Thank you for joining us. Oh, they're getting a degree in accounting. Thank you for joining us today. Feel free to continue to introduce yourselves in the chat with your name, where you're from, as well as your student's major or something you're excited for your student to experience here at Temple. But thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we'll get started in just a minute. And thank you so much if you're just joining us. Feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat by sharing your name, where you're from, as well as your student's major or something you're excited for your student to experience. I'm going to get started in just a second, but please feel free to continue to do that. An animation major, that's exciting, from New Jersey. Thank you for sharing. All right, I'm going to get us started, but please feel free to continue to introduce yourselves in the chat. I know we always love to see where everyone's coming in from and what everyone's studying. It's very exciting to see. But hello and welcome to the Parent and Family Orientation Ask the Experts Health and Wellbeing webinar. My name is Emily Brown, and I am the graduate intern for the Office of New Student and Family Programs here at Temple University. We're so glad that you decided to join us today, and we would love to know more about everyone who is with us. So please feel free to continue to introduce yourselves in the chat. Include your name, where you're from, as well as one thing you're excited for your student to experience here at Temple. We have enabled closed captions for this session, and to view those captions, please click Captions, then select Show Captions. This session will also be recorded, and the slides and links will be shared after today on the Parent and Family Orientation Hub. Today's panelists are representatives from Campus Recreation, Student Health Services, Tuttleman Counseling Services, and the Wellness Resource Center. These offices are crucial in supporting your students' physical, mental, and emotional health. Our panelists will introduce themselves during their presentations, and following their presentations, we will have a Q&A session for the remainder of our time together. We'll get started with our presentations in just a moment, but there are a few announcements I'd like to share first. You've likely noticed that your audio and video are muted. You can see and hear us, but we cannot see and hear you. So please submit your questions using the Q&A feature. To do so, click the Q&A button to open the window, then type your question into the text field. If you want your question to be anonymous, check the Send Anonymously checkbox and then click Send. Your question will not be viewable to the rest of the participants until it has been answered. We will share helpful links related to the questions that have been asked in the chat, so make sure to check the chat throughout the panel. We'll do our very best to answer as many questions as we can today. If we're unable to answer all of the questions, we'll provide contact information at the end for you to follow up with the appropriate campus partner for your specific question. If you have any questions related to other topics or offices on campus, don't worry, we probably have either already had a session with them or will have one upcoming. So feel free to look those up on the Parent and Family Experience portal to see our previous webinar recordings or register for upcoming ones. All right, we are ready for our panelists to begin their presentations, and Campus Recreation is going first.
I always love to go first. Hi, everybody. My name is Ann Wilkinson. I get to work in the great department of campus recreation on main campus. We can go to the next slide, please. Campus Recreation is an organization that is in charge of managing the health and wellness and fitness facilities on main campus and all of its programming. We have a number of different facilities that your students have access to with their OWL card. Everything from a weight room to a fitness center to a pool, climbing wall, indoor rec courts that have volleyball, badminton, basketball, table tennis. So a lot of spaces where students can come, what we like to say to the west side of campus, because you have to cross over Broad Street, to see the indoor recreation spaces. But in addition to the indoor recreation spaces, we have a number of outdoor recreation spaces, which are open fields for our intramural and our sport club programs. Intramurals is a short sport experience for your students. We have 9 different sports throughout the semester, everything from flag football to um, basketball. Students sign up either individually, we call them free agents. They sign up individually, no money attached to them though, and they get placed on a team, or they get together with a bunch of other Temple students and create their own team. And then they play in short sport tournament style leagues, and they last about 2 to 2.5 weeks. So it's a real short commitment for each sport. But students who have a larger commitment to sport, and sport is part of their identity, we have our sport club programming. And our sport club programming is 29 different sport clubs, everything from equestrian, men's rugby, women's rugby, field hockey, ice hockey, taekwondo, karate, anywhere where a student wants to continue their sport identity or learn a sport and create that as their identity. We have that at Campus Recreation. These are not athletics. So that's not the NCAA program. These are student orgs that are run by students. Students are the presidents and vice presidents of their association. They decide on everything in terms of where they're playing, how often they're playing, and how often they're practicing. And our department supports that sport experience for them. We have a large health and fitness component to our recreation department. We believe in well-being. It is the cornerstone of who we are. We believe in that we are a co-curricular partner in the psychological, sociological, and physiological development of your students when they're here at Temple. That learning continues outside of the classroom as they're in the spaces that we provide on main campus. We see about 3,000 participants per day on average. We're open close to 48 weeks a year. We only close about 2 to 4 weeks a year, and that is typically based on when the university is closed, to be honest. We're open right now. So if you were here on campus, like many people for orientation are in and out throughout the weeks, they're able to come over and tour our facilities. Students get access with their Temple University IDs. They do not pay any additional fees to be part of our facilities. It's all kind of wrapped into their tuition and their university fees already. We really do truly believe that movement and finding joy in movement is a way to help students connect to others and connect to themselves as they become a lifelong in learning in movement, right? So it's that idea of like joy and just having fun. With so many people coming in and out of our facilities every day, we believe very strongly in the social component of recreation. Come over, you will find space, you will find like-minded people participating in over 40 hours of group fitness programming led by national leaders, everything from Zumba to a high-low class, to a strength class, to an indoor cycling class, all of that with their student IDs. We have over 40 hours of programming a week during the fall and spring semester that they can come to be a part of, engaging in group-based exercise. We also have an adapted recreation program. If your student identifies with a disability and needs a little extra help in terms of getting started in recreation, or needing a workout buddy to kind of help facilitate their individual recreation goals, that's actually a program that I run. They kind of get to me, and I kind of help tailor and individualize the exercise or recreation program for them, what I like to call their the IRL, right? Their individual recreation leisure program. And we get them into our spaces. We can also get them into spaces within Philadelphia and kind of make a pathway for them. So they have an advocate already on staff ready to get them in and connected to others. We are pride ourselves in saying that we have something for everyone at Campus Recreation. And if we don't, ask us, because our job then is to try to find it and try to connect you into that program. We really hope that your students come over and engage and be part of the experience. There is a big social connection through recreation. There's obviously a physical connection through recreation, but there's that mind-body connection through recreation that allows them to have that release, so that, I find when I work out, I'm a better human afterwards. And we really hope that you can encourage your students to engage in our programs. We are here for them. We open at 6 in the morning. We close at 10, 11 o'clock at night. We're here 7 days a week. And again, about 48 weeks of the year. And there's no additional cost to them. They just need their OWL card to be able to come in. Thank you for having your owls come to Temple, especially to main campus. We'll be excited to see them. If you happen to have owls that are up at HSC, our health science campus, or Ambler campus, there are recreation facilities there. I don't I don't work in the department that runs them, but they're high quality, I promise. They're just on the other campuses. So anywhere at Temple, you're going to find a recreation specific answer to a student who wants to get out and engage and connect. Send them over to us. We are also one of the largest employers on campus. I employ over 250 students in our programs and facilities to help run our programs and facilities. So if your student needs to work on campus, or you think that would be a good connection piece to have them connect and work on campus, again, send them our way. Our website has appeared in the chat a number of times, but we are actively hiring and consistently hiring for all of our positions, from being an intramural referee to being a sport club supervisor. Maybe they're a lifeguard at our pool, a climbing wall person that's helping people on the 31-foot climbing wall, or even swiping IDs, or even office staff doing basic office tasks and handling our membership, because we do sell memberships to our employees here at the university. So we do have a membership component as well. So that's office tasks as part of that too. We hope you come over and find us. We hope you come visit us when you come to campus. And I'm excited for you to send your students. And thank you and welcome to the nest.
Thank you so much, Anne. Next, we're going to hear from Student Health Services.
Thanks, Emily, and thanks, Anne. You can move on to the next slide. I am Mark Dene. I'm the Associate Vice Provost for Health and Wellbeing. So I oversee a lot of the health and wellbeing departments, most of whom you'll hear from today. But I'm going to talk about student health services today. Student health, we are the medical office on campus, the physician's office. We are also located on the west side of Broad Street in 1700 North Broad, right at the corner of Cecil B. Moore and Broad. There's a Wendy's at the ground floor of our building. So that's where we're located. We are a real doctor's office. So we are staffed by board certified physicians. They're board certified in either internal medicine or family medicine. We also have nurse practitioners, registered nurses, and then a variety of other supportive staff that provide services for your students. Types of things we see in our office: just about everything that a primary care doc can do at home, you can see them in our office for. So we will do, if they're sick, have a stomach ache, have the flu, have cold and flu symptoms, they can come and see a doc anytime for those while we're open. We also do sexual health visits, including STI testing, birth control visits. We do sports medicine. We actually have the sports medicine doc from Temple Athletics. That physician spends 2 afternoons a week in our office. So if your student gets hurt skateboarding, using a scooter, tripping up the curb, all those fun things, or anything over in Ann's world, if they're in campus rec and they're doing something on club sports, they can come and be seen by the same doc who's treating the football team and the basketball team. They can see that person in our office. So sports medicine, travel consults, if they're traveling for any reason, can be school, can be personal. If they think they need a vaccine to travel someplace, they can come meet with us. We'll determine where they're going and help them determine what they need for that. Immunizations, and I'll talk about the requirements in a second, but they can get immunizations and vaccines in our office as well. Allergy shots, if they need allergy shots, they don't have to travel home. Obviously, we have a lot of folks from all over the country. They don't have to go back to Colorado to get an allergy shot. They can have that done in our office. We also have a nutritionist. She meets with students one-on-one if they have any dietary concerns. Maybe they want to lose weight in a healthy way, or they want to gain weight in a healthy way. Really, just any type of dietary concern, they can meet with our nutritionist one-on-one. She also teaches classes. We have a great new teaching kitchen on campus in the College of Public Health, and she taught students how to make healthy pizza last semester. So that was a really popular class, and she's going to continue doing those things as well. We also have a lab on site. So if your student needs blood work related to an illness, or if they just need blood work related to a medication, they can also get that done in our office. We'll bill their insurance and send the blood work off to Quest or LabCorp, whatever lab their insurance requires us to send it to. Speaking about insurance, students do not need insurance to be seen in our office. We will ask for the information. Like I said, if we need it for blood work, if we need it to order a medication or to order some kind of specialty x-ray or something like that, But they can come and be seen by a doc 100 times a semester. There's no charge for those visits. We just charge for some of those other things. If they don't have insurance, we have really inexpensive pricing for blood work, typically $12 for a complete blood count, really inexpensive. If they don't have a prescription plan, we have a limited number of medications we stock that we can prescribe for students. I think a course of amoxicillin is $10. So sometimes it's really inexpensive to get it through us. But we do have a CVS pharmacy about 2 blocks away from our office, right in the middle of campus. We can send a prescription there if they need medication. So really try to make things convenient for the students for whatever they may need from a health respect. A couple other things, immunization requirements. So all full-time students are required to have measles, mumps, and rubella, meningitis, Tdap, which is tetanus, diphtheria, and pertussis, and varicella. So they are required to have all 4 vaccines. They have received emails throughout the summer. They're going to receive another one tomorrow morning. So make sure they're checking their TU email. So if they say they don't know about it, they definitely know about it. And they definitely need to check their email tomorrow. It's also in their next steps on the TU portal. So I really highly recommend getting these things done in the next couple of weeks prior to coming to campus. We don't want there to be any delays with them getting to campus. And our office needs a couple of days to process the information once you give it to us. That's about it. I really wanted to leave time for questions. I know I talked a lot about a lot of different things, but welcome to Temple, and hope your student never has to come to us. But if they're not feeling well, we're here for them, and we'll take care of them when they're here.
Thank you so much, Mark. All right, next we're going to hear from Tuttleman Counseling Services.
Hello, everyone. My name is Andrew Lee. I serve as the Senior Director for Tuttleman Counseling Services. So we can go to the next slide. Tuttleman Counseling Services is the mental health support for all Temple students. So we are also located at 1700 North Broad. In fact, my office sits on top of the Wendy's that Mark just talked about. So I don't get the smell from Wendy's, which is very nice. But we're right there. We're on the second floor, and we are open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And there are a variety of different ways that students can get to our services. The most common is that students are able to register online. Our registration window is open from Monday through Friday from 10 to 3. And that's the website. That is our website, counseling.temple.edu. When they go to that site, they will see a button that says Access Services. They will click that. And then when they click that, then they get a little bit of information that they need to complete. It's a few questionnaires that take about 20 minutes. It gives us some demographics. It gives us information as to why they're seeking services and allows us to understand a little bit more about them. Once the student completes all of the information, then they get a call from our front desk staff to schedule what we call an initial consultation. An initial consultation is about a 20 to 30-minute phone call to talk with the student about what's going on and how we can best be useful. These appointments, as it says on the slide, are typically done either same day, next day, or the day after. It really depends on student schedule, but we are able to see students very quickly. So there has been a myth going around that there is a waiting list for services here at TCS, and that is absolutely categorically untrue. So if you or your student hear that there is a waiting list for services, that is not true. We are able to see students very, very quickly, sometimes even same day or next. So once that happens, once the initial consultation occurs, then we will figure out what makes the most sense when it comes to follow-up care or additional services that would be helpful. Again, all of our services are completely free or no additional charge, and they're completely confidential. So this is an important piece, especially as your student is transitioning from high school and being under the age of 18 to college and being over the age of 18, and then being responsible for and having control over their own medical record and their personal health information. So The truth is that unfortunately, we are not able to share, either by law and by ethics, not able to share any information surrounding whether or not your student is receiving services at TCS without their permission. So sometimes I will get calls from parents asking, did my student come? And my general response is, unfortunately, I'm able to neither confirm nor deny knowledge of said student because, again, as they transition into adult life, they are responsible and have the ability to determine whether or not anyone's going to have access to that information. So I would encourage you, if you have those questions, to definitely talk with your student about that to see if they can talk with you about what's going on. So we have a number of different services. I know when you think about counseling services, everyone thinks about individual counseling, but that is not all that we do. We do a lot more than that. We have, as you see on the slide, the Resiliency Resource Center, the RRC. You can think of the RRC as a self-help experience where students can go into, right now it's a room in our center that has different workbooks and different things that students can use to help them manage issues that they may be experiencing on their own. We have a wonderful massage chair that students can use that they sit in for about half an hour just to refresh and regroup. And they really enjoy that. That's actually one of our most popular services, as you can imagine. And we also have things like biofeedback machines, again, workbooks. We provide workshops for students as well to talk about how to manage things like anxiety and depression. We also have a very robust group counseling program, including skill-based groups, which are, again, groups that help provide skills on how to manage different things that your student may be experiencing, like anxiety or depressive symptoms. We also have psychiatry, and that is a huge benefit for our student population because we have 4 board certified psychiatrists on our staff, so they can prescribe medication to help support students if they need it. And then we also have a case management team that can help students receive services either beyond the scope of care that we have at TCS and also some services in the community if that feels like a better fit for them. And we also have an after-hour support line. So even if our office is closed at 5 o'clock, they can still call our main number, which is 215-204-7276. They press 1, and then once they press that, they will be transferred to a live clinician. It is not AI. It is not a chat bot. It is a live person that they can talk to that will help them receive in-the-moment support and help them de-escalate and really help them figure out what's the most reasonable next step for them. So we have a lot of different services. We're here to help. I like to say one of our taglines is, let's talk about it, because that's what we really want to do. We want to be here to help your student talk through whatever issue they may be having so that we can really help students be students. That's our mission and that's our goal. So with that, welcome to Temple. Go Owls.
Thank you so much. All right, next we're going to hear from the Wellness Resource Center.
Hi, everyone. You can go to the next slide. I'm always excited. It's always a treat to chat with parents and family members and be part of new student orientation. I'm a proud owl myself. I've been with the Wellness Resource Center for 8 years, but I was also an undergraduate student at Temple. I was a first-gen commuter transfer student. So if you have any questions about any of that or your student does, please feel free. I get to be the director of the Wellness Resource Center, which is the Health Promotion and Education Office here at Temple. So I get to work with all of the wonderful folks that you've met here in this panel, as well as probably others that have been part of other Ask the Expert panels. But we're a team of professional health educators as well as certified peer educators, and these are students. I'll talk about them in a moment. And we really seek to create opportunities for students to learn about all of the resources available, right? So Temple is an enormous institution, so we really pride ourselves in being connectors and being knowledgeable about everything that's available to students, or at least being able to build that bridge for them so that they can feel well and create this life that they feel excited to live, which is our definition of self-care and wellness. So we are located, we're not on the other side of Broad Street. We are in the student center. So I am lonely all the way over there. We're in the Howard Gittes Student Center on the second floor. So we're neighbors with new student and family programs, with the Dean of Students office, with student leadership and engagement. We're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you're not already part of our digital communities, we're on Facebook as well as at BeWellTU. We're probably most active on Instagram. If you want to follow us there, you can meet a lot of our team members. But some of our core services are educational workshops or programs, presentations, however you'd like to phrase it, campus-wide events, and then different in-office resources that help students access accurate information in a judgment-free space so that they can incorporate their own personal values into choices they make now as an adult, as Andrew said, right? So we're pulling in all of the lessons that you've taught them, as well as, how they're integrating that into this new experience of college. And one of the ways that we do that, kind of our signature program at the Wellness Resource Center, is our wellness peer educators. These are undergraduate students that are trained by our professional staff. So we have master's level either in public health or psychology, social work, professional staff that train students. And then those students take a national certification exam and then help us facilitate presentations, organize events, outreach to their peers, because we know that students learn best from each other, right? They're modeling these different behaviors. They're talking about resources that are meaningful. And our wellness peer educators gain really important, I think, skills in public speaking, in professional communication, in networking, in community organizing, and engagement. So this is a great opportunity if your student is interested in talking about relationships, substances, building a culture of consent, mental health. Please feel free to elevate the Wellness Resource Center as a resource for them. They can join our team once they become nationally certified. So all of our student staff in the office are nationally certified peer educators. So when a student visits us, they're greeted with, no matter what, a knowledgeable, affirming, welcoming presence. And you can meet some of our wellness peer educators through our Instagram. They're all over. They're wonderful and so generous with their energy and their likeness. So, and this image on the slide is from one of our events, the self-care fair. Students were building a garden of gratitude. So sharing something they were grateful for, and leaving it for someone else to kind of pick up as a reminder. So definitely want to leave time for questions. But thank you all so much for joining the Temple community. It's been, the foundation of who I am as a person. And I just remember my mom attending the parent and family orientation and her being so excited. So I'm very glad to meet all of you.
Thank you so much to all of our partners. These were phenomenal presentations. Thank you. All right, it is time for our panelists to begin answering your questions. So please feel free to continue to post any questions that you have in the Q&A feature. I know Anne is excited at the bottom of your screen where you see that question mark. But our first question that we have is, it's for Mark. If a student is coming to Temple with a pre-existing health condition and their primary doctor is back home, should they change their doctor to the Philadelphia area? And if so, is that something the university can help them with?
Thanks, Emily. So I hate saying it depends, but I'm going to say it depends. So it depends on how often you visit the physician, the specialist. If you do want to change, if going back home is a real far distance, and you see them on a monthly basis or a frequent basis, then you may definitely want to change. That is something we can help with. What I would recommend is coming in first couple weeks of the semester, set up an appointment to meet with one of our docs or nurse practitioners. We can review what the situation is, who your doctor is, and then we can make a decision together and try to make a recommendation. We also have somebody in our office who is a case manager. She can help folks with insurance issues, as well as making appointments within the Temple network and even outside of the Temple network, depending on insurance and depending on what the need is. So I'd say come meet with us when you're not sick, get things in a history taken, get to know where we are, and then they can make that joint decision together.
Lovely, Mark. Thank you so much. All right, Anne, I have one for you. I know you're excited. Can students who have never worked out before participate and take lessons and learn how to use the equipment?
Oh, absolutely. We have a free program called a fitness orientation. So again, we have two fitness centers. One is a fitness center that has cardio, strength training equipment. Our group fitness rooms are in there. Our spinning studio is in there. It has racquetball court. It has a pickleball court. It's got an indoor track. And then we have another fitness center that is free weight specific for heavier lifting. Either of those centers, we have free fitness orientations that you can sign up at any time as often as possible. Have one question, we're happy to answer it. Need a tour of the facility, we're happy to do that. Need a little bit more hands-on, we're also happy to do that. And through our Adaptive Rec program, we actually do individual one-on-one orientations depending on what the student needs are or how they express that they would like our help in Adaptive Rec. We also offer that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm trying to throw links in there too while you're saying it. All right. Our next question is for Liz. Our Wellness Resource Center programs free?
Yes, of course. Yes, they're all free.
Thank you. Okay. For Andrew, when will the autumn group offerings at Tuttleman Counseling Center be available for students?
Well, our groups generally start after students return because we need a little bit of time to get all of the students referred to the groups and get the groups up and running. But the list of groups should be available right around when students come to campus. So late-ish August and into early September.
Perfect. Thank you. Our next question is for Mark. Can students receive prescriptions at the Student Health Center?
Yes, we have an electronic medical record, so we can send a prescription to the CVS pharmacy that's right on campus, or another pharmacy at home or someplace else if that's where their prescription needs to be made.
Thank you. All right, next for Anne. Can commuter students use the recreation facilities?
Can and should. Yes, absolutely. Come on over. Like I said, we open up at about 6 in the morning in some of our spaces and closing at 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Thursday. Our hours are a little bit shorter on the weekends, usually 11 a.m. open until 8, 9 o'clock at night. But that absolutely all the student needs is their OWL card. It doesn't matter if you take 1 credit, if you take 24 credits, it doesn't matter. Come on over. We are open and we are hoping you come because otherwise we're very lonely. So come hang out with us.
Anne wants to see all of your students, I promise. All right, next is for Liz, but honestly, I think anybody can answer this question. What support is available for stress management for students?
Oh, that's great. So I'm going to look at Andrew's rectangle as well as Anne's because I do think physical movement is absolutely a stress management technique. So something that we try to position ourselves as the health education office is students can access information on how they can incorporate it into their life currently. And let's say they need maybe a little more coaching or guidance around stress management. We would then make a referral to Andrew's team, specifically the Resiliency Resource Center. So some of the Wellness Resource Center stress management programs are, we love an OWL pun. So it's OWL about stress. It's a program that goes through the differences between stress, the biology of stress and anxiety, as well as some evidence-based techniques that students can start to incorporate right in that moment. We also have the self-care fair, as I mentioned, that photograph in the presentation in the slide. And that is a space where we bring together campus partners like folks here, as well as like occupational therapy, art therapy, recreation therapy, lots of different opportunities for students to learn skills that way in an environment that's like low stress, de-stress. We also have therapy dogs at that event, which are a really nice way to kind of help students find regulation in the moment. So it's through events and programs. In addition to, students are welcome to pop into our office and speak with professional staff if they just want to learn more about what's available, or perhaps they're like, I've tried the stress management technique, but it's not resonating with me. What else is available? And that's when we'll usually make a referral to campus recreation or Tuttleman Counseling.
And Emily, if I could add on there from Campus Rec, our group fitness program is designed with some intentional mind-body sessions or classes. These are not academic classes. You can drop in, you can come every week, you come 2-3 times a week to these sessions. Again, you just need your OWL card to be able to get in. They occur in our IBC Student Rec Center, and there's about 40 hours of programming. But our typical sessions, we do meditation sessions, we do breathing sessions. So what you're using in yoga, we would call it your breath power. There's different types of yoga sessions in there. There's Pilates. So different ways to access intentional stress reduction or mindfulness movement, but also, just as Liz said, movement in general, even just walking around campus, walking at any of the outdoor tracks. And we have 2 of them on campus at our Temple Student Sport Complex. And we also have one around the Airmark Star complex. There's 2 outdoor tracks that students can walk on and get some relief, or even just walking around inside Temple. Just doing the loop of Temple is really a great place to kind of get yourself centered, or even just walking up and down the steps in your residence halls. I mean, just movement in general can really, Mark would say probably from the physiology change your body, and then Andrew would say probably from the psychology change your body, and I say yes, yes, and stuff. So hopefully you'll come utilizing those services. And again, you don't sign up for them, you drop in or come every time at 8 a.m. yoga.
And as Liz said, in terms of stress management, through the Resiliency Resource Center, we are doing Resiliency Resource Center labs where students will be able to figure out how to use the resources that we have in the RRC to help them deal and manage their stress. So that's another way that we have crafted to be able to help students with stress.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, our next question is for Andrew, so we're going to throw you right back on the spot. What if my student needs long-term therapy? Is that something you can help them with?
So what we will do is we will work with the student. If they need long-term therapy, it depends. So our services are designed to be short-term in nature. However, because we have the support of the university, we are able to provide longer-term care especially for students who may not have the resources to be able to access those services outside of the university. So although most of our students will be seen for a shorter length of time, because of that, we have really designed the opportunity or the experience of TCS to be able to be student dependent and student specific on what their needs are, what their resources are. If they have resources that they're able to access outside of the university, meaning insurance, money, transportation, things like that, then we will ask those students to be able to use and utilize those resources, and we can facilitate the transition to an external provider. But if those resources are not present and they need care, longer term care in the center within TCS, then we are able to provide that as well.
Thank you so much, Andrew. All right, for Mark, I know we've gotten a couple insurance questions. Could you explain a little bit more about whether student health services appointments and services are covered by student fees, or is insurance required, and anything else you want to cover about insurance? Feel free.
Sure. Yeah, I'll try and answer. I know there's a bunch of the insurance questions. So Temple University does not require students to have healthcare insurance. There's a couple exceptions. If they're in a health-related major, such as nursing, they would be required to have healthcare insurance, but only for those really few exceptions. Most students are not required to have insurance. The health center, we don't bill insurance ourselves, so we don't participate in any insurance plans. The visits to doctors are free. There's no copay. There's no cost associated with them. We will ask for insurance for those who have it, because that will affect how we would order medications or tests or even refer them to a specialist physician. So we will ask for that information there. appointments are by appointment only. Visits are by appointment only. They can be made online. If they don't see an appointment available online, they can always call the office. We almost always get students in same day, next day, especially when they're feeling sick. Some routine visits, if they're not feeling sick, they want to check up, or one of those travel consults I mentioned, that may be a little bit further out. I think, let me just see, yeah, so I saw another one about insurance from out of network and from other states. Again, they don't need it to be seen in our office. And if it does cover something in emergency, that's a fine insurance to have. They don't have to switch insurance because they can be seen to us for routine things, for urgent things. And if there's an emergency that they would have to go to an emergency room for, then that's when their insurance would kick in.
Perfect, thank you. And I also just sent an FAQ. I don't know if the title I put was kind of misleading, but an FAQ on what Mark just kind of went over. All right. Our next question is for Anne. Are there intramural sports for non-athletes?
Yes. So I paused because of the word non-athlete, right? So it doesn't matter your ability level in our program. Some of our intramural sports are participatory in nature, and others are competitive. It really depends on the individual student and maybe even the team as they're coming into it. I could predict our high competition basketball league it can be denoted as high competition, but low competition basketball doesn't mean it's any less of desire to win or to compete or their skill level. I mean, it's all over the map. We don't do any kind of stratification when you come in. We don't do a combine. We don't put you into different categories. It's really about play. But some of the most meaningful conversations I've had with alumni has come from past intramural participants where they really talk about the stories. I actually talked to someone today who's actually a professor at Temple, and we're telling a story about how, 20 years ago they played intramurals at Kentucky State, and they just went to a wedding over the summer, and it was their intramural team, and they were just chatting and talking about it and just remembering all the things that happened. It had nothing to do with how skilled they were or how much they won or how much they lost, but it was the time in which they were together and the friendships that developed on and off the court as they have it. So we encourage everyone, no matter what your skill level is, to come and play. If you'd rather not play in a team sport, play cornhole. Right, that's you and maybe one other person in a cornhole competition. This year at Campus Rec, we're investing time into one-off sport tournaments. So just like engagement, like a wiffle ball, a home run derby, things like that are where you don't have to worry about hanging out for 2 or 3 weeks or joining a team. You can just come over that day and let's just play this one, 3-point basketball shot competition if that's what you want to do. And again, doesn't matter how great you are at sports, we welcome everybody into the doors and there's always a space for you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Anne. Our next question is for Andrew. Earlier you mentioned privacy laws, but will parents be notified at all if their student is struggling?
We try to include parents if there is a need to do so, in the sense of if there's ever an emergent situation where we would need some parental support in that way, then we will include parents in that way. We are able to break confidentiality if the student has given us permission. That's one. There are other reasons why we are able to break confidentiality. If there is ever a danger to self or other, that is another reason why we are able to. So that would be a concern, and that then would allow us to break confidentiality. So we could include parents or other important people in that way to really provide support for the student. There are other reasons as well, but those are the main ones. And so the answer is yes, maybe. So it really just depends on what the situation is, but absolutely, if need be, we will include them.
Thank you. All right, next for Liz. Do you offer substance use education or recovery support at the Wellness Resource Center?
What a wonderful question. Yes. So we offer we kind of take a harm reduction approach to our education. So talking accurately about alcohol and other drugs. So we have some programs around cannabis, alcohol, nicotine, and tobacco, and what are commonly referred to as study drugs. So we do offer information to students. Those programs are facilitated by both professional health educators and wellness peer educators. And our alcohol and other drug prevention coordinator on staff at the WRC advises Temple Collegiate Recovery, which is a student affinity group. It's not an organization because they're more, they're a little less structured than an organization. And they're open to undergraduate, graduate, and professional students who are in recovery or allies to students in recovery. And they hold different meetings either weekly, monthly, or throughout the semester. Emily, I can find their Instagram and share it with you so that folks can learn. But great question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Andrew, our next question is for you. What happens if my student needs help immediately and it's not during normal working hours?
Well, I suppose it would depend on what that means in terms of needing help. Again, I did mention our after-hour support line. So students are always able to call our main number, even if it's after 5 o'clock and on weekends. Then students can access the support line there so they can speak with a licensed clinician who can kind of guide them through whatever might be going on and provide support in the moment. And if it is more urgent or emergent, then we have connection with TUPD. So our police department will be able to also assist them. We also just started and just launched a co-responder program so that we have mental health clinicians who are available after hours to be able to support students who might be going through more urgent or emergent concerns or experiencing more urgent and emergent concerns that can then support them that are on campus and available in person. So there are a lot of different support services available. I like to say that we're always here whenever students need us.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, for Anne, do students need to have their own equipment for, say, racquetball, or can students borrow or rent equipment from you all?
We have it all. You do not need to bring your own equipment. We supply yoga mats for the yoga sessions. We have free weights for our free weight sessions and group fitness. We have racquetball courts you can quote unquote rent out. Basically, it's showing your OWL card. And then being able to return it and stuff like that. We also have pickleball equipment for that. We even have picnic packs. So if you and your students, or your student had a bunch of friends in the residence hall or where they live, and they're like, "Hey, I'd really like to do I don't know, set up an outdoor volleyball net in my backyard, or maybe on one of the open fields that we have around Temple." We have picnic packs that students can check out, and it has outdoor sport equipment activities like you would have at a picnic or a family gathering. So absolutely, all you need your OWL card to be able to do any of that, and the equipment's within the facility where the main activity happens.
Thank you. All right, we have another one for Andrew. Are any of the therapists bilingual? Specifically, do they speak Spanish?
We do have some that speak Spanish. I will be honest, not many, but we do have some that have fluency in Spanish and also Mandarin.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, for Mark, if my student visits your office, will our insurance be billed? It's another insurance question, but if we could just cover it again.
Yep, no, absolutely. So for the services we provide in our office, we will not bill insurance. If they need blood work done that we send to LabCorp or Quest, they will bill your insurance. If we have to order a medication that CVS or another pharmacy fills, that pharmacy will bill your insurance, but our office will not bill the insurance.
Perfect. Thank you so much for the clarification. All right, for Liz, how can students get involved in wellness programming within your office?
Yeah, so in terms of our programs and events, we do get to meet students during weeks of welcome at Temple Fest and some of those welcoming activities. So we like to just invite them to follow us on Instagram or TikTok. We do campus-wide promotion we have these screens and televisions throughout lots of different buildings. So we're there. And we do a lot of presentations in first year seminars. So your student may be in an academic program that requires a first year seminar, will often come in and they may meet us through All About Stress or All About Self-Care or another program. So we try to meet students where they are. So outside of weeks of welcome, we do a lot of outreach tables and resource fairs, both within academic buildings, as well as the student center, or outside by the bell tower. And for folks that haven't had a chance to visit main campus, the bell tower is kind of like a central point where a lot of folks kind of move through campus. So we try to be highly visible. In terms of becoming a wellness peer educator, we do some recruitment each semester before our weekend training. So that is inclusive in presentations or outreach tables. We have connections with faculty in different programs that might align really well with the Wellness Peer Educator program. So we hope that students will meet us at some point during their time at Temple. We also know that weeks of welcome and orientation is it's a lot. It's a lot of information, both for you and your student. So we try to just make sure we're highly visible across campus. And we often find that the wellness peer educators are a great connector, particularly for new students. So whether transfer students or first year students, meeting another student and learning from them can be really impactful. So
I love your owl puns. I know you said it earlier, but I keep hearing the names. I love them. Thank you so much. Okay, Andrew, what if my student's schedule won't work for a counseling appointment during your regular hours?
So then we can utilize our case management services to help students find clinicians who might be available outside of the kind of quote unquote normal business hours that would be available. So again, have your student come talk to us, and then we can help facilitate a transition to an external provider.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, our next question is for Mark. Can you share one more time how students can obtain their prescriptions?
Our physicians or our nurse practitioners, they can write a prescription for any medication that's indicated, and then they can send it to one of the local pharmacies. Um, we have a very small formulary in our office, so if they don't have a prescription plan, there are some of those most commonly used medications that we could fill there. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a small cost, whatever it costs us, and we're able to buy things very inexpensively. A course of amoxicillin, I think it's $10. So really inexpensive. We can provide those medications.
And when Mark says there's a CVS nearby, it is really close to where their office is. So your student will be able to get there easily. Thank you so much, Mark. Okay, this is for Mark or Anne. Does Temple offer physical therapy for students recovering from sports-related injuries?
So we do have a physical therapy contract through our sport clubs for our athletic training, and it's I may get it wrong. I believe it's NovaCare. Mark, you might have to correct me on that one. I believe it's NovaCare. And then you can, if you have NovaCare physical therapy, opt to do physical therapy on campus in our sport club athletic training room is a possibility that they do schedule appointment times for that. Again, that's all through NovaCare. It's just that we just happen to be a location where that could occur in very specifically in our sport club athletic training room. But you don't have to be a sport club participant. You just have to be through NovaCare PT. So.
Lovely,
And you
thank
can
you.
always meet with one of our physicians or nurse practitioners as well, and they can write a prescription for physical therapy or a referral to an orthopedic or a sports medicine doc if our sports medicine doc can't handle the issue. But for the most part, they can handle just about anything coming in, and we can figure out what the best course of action for them is.
Thank you. All right, for Liz, do you provide nutrition counseling at the Wellness Resource Center?
We don't. We work really closely with Lori, who's the nutritionist at Student Health Services that Mark mentioned. So we do, in addition to the program that Mark mentioned in the College of Public Health's teaching kitchen, we also worked with Lori to do like a mocktail stress management event for our graduate students, where students had different recipes around calming beverages and energizing beverages that did not include alcohol or anything like that. We also will bring Lori in to educate our peer educators about nutrition and ways to make thoughtful referrals to her when they're doing programming out in the campus community. We also work with Lori as well as like the nutrition program here at Temple during National Eating Disorder Awareness Week. So offering support to students, partnering with organizations like the Renfrew Center to offer comprehensive education to students so that they can feel supported and know how to support a peer.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna try to, I know we're running lower on time, but I'm gonna try to get as many questions in here as I can. All right, for Anne, I believe you mentioned this, but can you share again if all the gyms and classes are free or if you have to pay for gym memberships?
It's all part of your tuition. Yeah, you pay a Temple University fee, and it's all part of that. So you just need your OWL card, the student's ID card, to come on in.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. For everyone, a few of you mentioned that there are peer educators and other student staff in your offices. What types of position do you all offer for students and how can they get work in those departments?
I'll go first for Campus Rec. Apply. Yep. So you just go onto our website. I think the link was put up earlier, but it's employment at Campus Rec. Variety of jobs. If you're a certified lifeguard, certified group fitness instructor, or if you're interested in becoming certified, we can help you get through the certification process to be able to work not just at Temple, but other places. Swiping IDs for access, cleaning equipment, intramural refs, office staff. I mean, the whole gambit. If you can imagine running 9 different fitness-related facilities from the front desk all the way through the people that clean up the equipment afterwards, we have availability. And then same thing in our programs for intramurals and sport clubs. To apply, and then I would just send an email follow-up to the person that runs that area on that website. It's always a great deal, a great idea to do that. And again, we employ a large number of staff on campus.
We're not quite the employer that Campus Rec is. We have about 10 to 11 student positions within our office. And those are across 2 teams. So we have an operations team, and these are students who support the office by welcoming visitors, helping with outreach efforts across the university. And then we have a program team, and those are students that focus in one of our content areas. So for example, we will have a student worker that focuses entirely on alcohol and other drug prevention and work with our program coordinator in that content area. So all of our student staff first have to participate and complete our peer educator training and become nationally certified, so that then they have the skills and training and kind of like the foundational understanding to facilitate presentations, help with community engagement. We also have a graduate extern position in our office that's open to current Temple graduate students. And that's our graduate peer educator. So that role supports graduate and professional students, very similar to the undergraduate roles.
And at TCS, we also have certified peer educators who are called the peer resiliency educators. So those are more internship-like programs. It's a semester-long internship for students in particular programs who will support our RRC in the work that they do. So again, you apply through the normal internship application process, and that's how you would get to us.
I don't, Mark, I'm not sure if you have, okay, got it.
Yeah, we don't in student health. We hire a communications person, but Liz now takes care of that. So yeah, in student health where we don't have students, we have such a high volume that we try to keep the confidentiality separate.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. And thank all of you. All right, our final question for you all. Do you have a final piece of advice, like a rapid fire piece of advice for parents and family members as their students begin their journeys at Temple?
Yeah, I'll go first. I would say rapid fire advice is if you're talking to your students and you're connecting with your students, encourage them to get involved, to reach out for resources, to ask. And I know that's hard to sometimes to be the person saying, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Or even with their professors, can I ask you a question about this on the syllabus? Can I ask you for a little bit more time? Having the conversation and engaging in the conversation or showing up at the places like the rec center where people are can really go a long way to start getting them connected and involved. And I would just highly encourage them to do that. We're about well-being, this whole panel, right? So we really do believe in the work that we do, and we really do believe the value in it. And as your students engage, I think they'll find value. So continue to encourage them even when they're having those hard conversations with you.
Yeah, I'd say mine's a real general one. Temple has a lot of well-being resources for your students. Set a reminder now for that first week in October, and then send your student a reminder about all the things that we've mentioned on this so that 6, 7 weeks into the semester, maybe they are struggling, maybe they haven't connected, remind them that all of these things exist so that oh, that's right, and then maybe they can get involved then.
I would say my piece of advice would be to make sure that you communicate with your student about what the expectations are surrounding contact specifically, because we get a lot of concerns about, well, I haven't heard from my student in 5 minutes, or maybe not that long, but or that short. But to really be able to have some thoughts and ideas as to how to continue that conversation or connection, because now if you're not going to be right next to your student in the same home, it's going to be really important to figure out what the expectation is it going to be weekly contact? It will be every other day. What will the contact look like? Will it be a phone call? Will it be a FaceTime? Will it be a Zoom? What will it be? And the more you can have those communications with the student, the less that confusion happens, and then the less concerns occur.
Yeah, and I'll just close with an invitation to, just have grace with yourself and practice self-compassion. This is, while it's an enormous accomplishment for your student and for you and your family, it's a big change, right? So, honor that change and give yourself some grace as you all navigate this. You're doing a great job, and your student has accomplished this enormous benchmark in their life, this goal for them and perhaps for you. So celebrate and also hold space for maybe some of that sadness or missing them or that change, because it can be hard. But I can assure you, you're doing great.
Thank you all so much for those pieces of advice. We really appreciate it. And I know the parents and families on here do as well. All right, unfortunately, that is all the time that we have with these partners today, but thank you all so much for our panelists for joining us and for you all for participating in this webinar. You will see our partners' contact information up on the screen. They're all more than willing to answer any follow-up questions you may have, so please feel free to reach out, take a picture of this slide, but it will be on the portal as well. We will be posting the recording to this session in the Orientation Hub in the Parent and Family Experience portal shortly for your reference. And of course, our virtual parent and family orientation is continuing, so please visit the Hub to register for any of the listed upcoming webinars or to see recordings of this webinar and the previous ones. Lastly, we will also be sending you a short survey to ask how today's session has helped you as you prepare for your student to attend Temple in the fall. Please take a few minutes to let us know your thoughts. We'd really appreciate it. And thank you again to all of our panelists and to you all for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of your day and a great weekend. I know it's almost Friday. Bye.